Team ICU!
ICU really stemmed from a what if question that I had, and it was, what if somebody who's about to commit a horrible act had a change of heart? What if he had a shift in perspective? How would that play out? Because I feel anybody who is doing such an inhuman thing must have lost their way.
What drew me to the story was its simplicity, and that simplicity of the human emotion and that change of heart that happens when faced with an innocent child, and that's really what drew me.
The visual language for us was crucial because we wanted people to see this guy as the product of a broken system. We didn't ever want to typecast him. We portrayed his pathos and his pain as accurately as possible without feeling like we were sort of taking a soft stance on this sensitive subject.
The story has different aspects that are very challenging. You know, it has a deadline within the story that we're trying to have a sense of without being too literal. We really need to find the way to use heart and feeling for it and not, play sounds that are going to advertise. And it's a way of following that path and heighten the connectivity with that character.
You don't have the real estate to kind of set out interlinking or related ideas and allow them to develop. You have to establish a different kind of thematic structure. So there's all these sorts of challenges in terms of miniaturizing the process that I was exercised by. And a general discussion about perspective. What is the music attached to at any given moment? Are we commenting on the physical actions of what the protagonist is doing, or are we commenting about what's going on in his head and sort of ignoring the precise physicality of the action? And in this short movie, that perspective shifts a number of times in some interesting ways.
Where are you going?
ICU had its own set of challenges right from the start when we had to raise money for crowdfunding. And that's always a task, asking people for money and getting it to getting your goal is always hard. And then working within the budget you have. I think the hardest thing was finding locations and determining whether we wanted to use practical locations or sets and how to get them in the budget that we had.
One of the first things I did along with Emmanuel was look at some TV shows that had successfully managed that. And then we went to those exact locations and scouted them.
Well, we had about 14 locations which we had to shoot over 4 days on a very, very tight budget. It's all within the 30-mile zone. That in itself was a tremendous challenge.
As the details of the production got clearer and clearer, we realized that we couldn't shoot on a real train. We had to shoot on a set. And I think on a physical level, that was one of the biggest challenges that as a team we had to overcome, because we had to sell the idea that he's in a crowded train in the heart of Manhattan, hurtling towards this epicenter of a megapolis city, whereas actually we were on the back of a soundstage on a set.
And actions!
Closing doors.
ICU was a really ambitious project. I don't think I ever once, stopped and thought that how would we achieve so many locations. And I think that's the thing that happens when you worked a lot on set. You know that movie magic is possible and you can do it.
Manjari is a storyteller. She's very visual in her way of thinking. Everything she can see the whole story in front of her eyes. She's also a very curious person. So if you ever sit down with Manjari, you end up spending hours talking about yourself because she's always interested in learning more about people, about the world, just so that it can help her in her storytelling.
One of the strong points in Manjari and my collaboration, I think, was that we were able to keep each other honest. That at various points when one of us was going through a moment of intense stress and we were being pulled in 5 different directions, The other was able to reset you so that your creative focus always remained pointed the right way. And I think that was really reassuring to have a partner like that, somebody who could really remind you of not just the details, but of the big picture.
The collaboration with Farhad was incredible. Our prep really helped us. The fact that we had done one film together before was really good because we know how we work together. And it was just great to have somebody who understands, who intuitively understands what I'm doing.
Because of our complicated schedules, there were times that Manjari and I didn't communicate for extended amounts of time. And when we came back, we were usually on the same page about things we had kind of independently developed. And that kind of gave me confidence that I was kind of executing the world that she had in mind. She was also incredibly trusting through the whole process. She never once doubted, I think, that it would come across differently from how she expected it. It was very fulfilling for me to work with her.
The thing that took us the longest to arrive at was how to frame his memories. My first instinct was to do something all about the sorrow that those memories were bringing him. Manj came back and challenged me quite heavily on that and said, no, we can't just be painting these memories with one colour. And we had very little time, especially in the earlier flashbacks, to establish a tonality. So whatever complex emotion we were trying to conjure had to be done within a few seconds.
One of the most gratifying things about this project was how it was fulfilling on every level. The physical demand it had, the emotional ups and downs, and then also, the VFX, the production value, the extras, everyone coming together. It just made this project such a grand and fulfilling project. We don't always get that as a performer, to see the end product be not only meet your hopes of what it might become, but exceed that and become something even greater than anything you've hoped. That's one of the most exciting things about being a part of ICU.
The AFI DWW really opens up a lot of opportunities, and we were able to tap into and get a lot of industry support. We had Warner Brothers, CBS Studios, Blue Cloud Ranch, Prime Focus in India. We really got a lot of support, and a lot of talented artists came on board to really uplift and take Manjari's game to another level.
The AFI Directing Workshop for Women was such an incredible experience. Not only did I grow as a filmmaker, I also grew so much as a person. I was more self-aware. I understood, how I approached the craft. And that really helped me elevate my game because firstly, not only did my producers surround me with an incredible team, but I had the nurturing of AFI where we examine what we are doing from so many different aspects. So it makes the whole experience very wholesome. I really want to thank the AFI Directing Workshop for Women and everybody who supported the project and the team and the crew, because this was really a passion project that wouldn't have been possible without the support of, these 200 people. I really want to thank everybody who made ICU possible on screen. Thank you.